Week 13 of the NFL season is here. My 5 best bets for Sunday are on the way. What's going on? My name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. Before we dive into the picks, though, we need to recap how we did on Thursday Night Football. But first, we have a special guest, and it is Dave Broom. We went 3-0 on Thursday Night Football, something we desperately needed. Let's talk about it and then dive into today's picks. We had Charbonnet's over in rush attempts. That was free. You got that early in the third quarter. Ended up with 19. Jackson Smith and Jigba, his over in receiving yards, he ended with 62. And then we had Dak Prescott's under and longest completion. It was surgical, Reedy. His longest completion was 23, despite having another great game. We are on an 11-2 NFL run, climbing back towards that positive mark. I told you guys we were due some good luck, and we are on a good run. Let's hopefully go 5-0 on Sunday. Now, before I dive into the picks, we actually have another video live for the NFL. It is our 2 long shot parlays. We've been doing this video, a couple times this season, kind of made a variation for it the past couple weeks, and it's cashed out for you big time. We did one on Thanksgiving. We cashed a parlay there at like plus 600. Last Sunday, I cashed mine at plus 650 or so, give or take. This week we got 2 other quick ones we really like. It was posted before this one. Go check out the video. I'll put it in the top link in the description and link it at the end of this video and in the pinned comment. And last note, before we dive into the picks, there is an Underdog Fantasy free square for only new users. It's for Sunday Night Football, and it's for Patrick Mahomes to get 1 yard. In order to get the free square, here's how you have to do it. You got to sign up with our code COS or the link in the description. And not only will you get that free square, you'll also get a 100% deposit match up to $100. A potential, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. It's potential for $100 free dollars for you guys to take advantage and take more of Underdog's money. That's what we're trying to do. Of course, we love Underdog. Here's all the states that Underdog Fantasy is in. All you need is your state to have pick'em, and you're able to get that free square and that deposit match. But you guys, game for picks, game for winners. Let's turn that 11-2 run into a 16-2 run and bring out this broom once again. First pick of the week is going to go to a one that you guys would recognize as an easy pivot for my people out there. It is a 1.5 unit play, my biggest play of the weekend. It is David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, a same game parlay. 50 rushing yards for Mr. David Montgomery and 25 for Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs, minus 109 on FanDuel. Now, for my daily fantasy people out there, for maybe my people that can only straight bet and things of that nature, can't do same game parlays, I would pivot to David Montgomery's over in rushing yards. It's around 63.5, give or take somewhere in there. I'm confident if he gets to 50, probably a good chance that he gets above that line too, as that's only, 10, 15 more yards. Now, we took this on Thanksgiving, and in a game where the game script was terrible, you saw the Packers up big early in that game, it still cashed in the third quarter, and I'm going to go back to it for 1.5 units here, my biggest play of the weekend, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, if you're on DraftKings, I wouldn't even bother inputting this because DraftKings same game parlay odds have been terrible over the past few weeks. I mean, this is like minus 270 there. Bet365 is a little bit better. And if you're looking for another leg to add, Sam Laporta for 25 receiving yards is probably a pretty good one. But I'm just talking about Montgomery and Gibbs here. Montgomery, 65 rushing yards in 7 of 8 games this season. His lone miss was due to injury. We can't control an injury. He's been crushing the 50-plus line, getting above 65 in all those games. Gibbs, on the other hand, has come on strong in the second half of, technically say second half of the season, but, really of the last 4 or 5 games. He has 25 rush yards in 8 of his last 9, including 7 straight games. These are just a great, two-headed attack. You got the Montgomery, more of a bruiser. Then you get Gibbs, more of a finesse guy, who's also not afraid of running through people either. And this was once a bad matchup against New Orleans. It's quietly turned into a good one. The Saints allowing the 6th most rushing yards per attempt this season. Last week, we saw the Falcons run all over them. They had 228 yards rushing, 91 to Bijan, 64 to Algier, 43 to Patterson. Ritter even had 30. Look, all those guys feasted. And while the Saints, who have lost 2 straight, will wake up for this game, they will have to come out here and play their heart out. I still do think, given the last couple games of Jared Goff, which have not looked good, I can't imagine on the road in New Orleans that they just want to let Jared Goff go crazy again and turn over the ball some more. I think they lean on the offensive line, which is the line's strength, in my opinion, is that offensive line. Even in a bad game, I still think Dave Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs get this done. So we'll take it. Another 1.5 units on here. I really like it. If it cashes this week, probably a very good chance we run it back again next week because it's just been really good play. These are 2 guys that get the ball a lot. Even if the game script is terrible, we've still seen them get the ball. Obviously, if they're down 40, they're not getting it, but I don't see the Saints blowing them out like that. I think we'll still see them being able to get their rush attempts for not only at least into the fourth quarter, and if they're winning, they'll get even more attempts. Now, my second play is going to go to a guy that I will be throwing on the thumbnail. He is very talented, and you probably know who he is. His name's Tyreek Hill, the Miami Dolphins, over 99.5 receiving yards, minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, this is a pretty square play. I'm not going to come out here and say, hey, guys, look at this deep dive one I found. No, I mean, it's Tyreek Hill's over in receiving yards. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to come up with this one, but I really like this matchup for him as they're on the road taking on the Commanders. Now, obviously, Tyreek Hill's been pretty good this season. I don't need to tell you that. But this season, if you look at his stats in 11 games, averaging 120 yards per game, he's at 100 plus receiving yards. He's done that in 7 of 11 games. That's pretty good. His misses have been against Kansas City, a very good defense. New England, a team that notoriously can try to take him away, did get 100 yards against New England again in their second matchup. Philly, and then Buffalo. So, not terrible defense. It's not like he had faced a terrible defense and did not put up numbers, but this is about as good of a matchup as Tyreek Hill will get. He will not get a better one than this one as they go up against the Commanders, a team that has allowed the most receiving yards to opposing wide receivers in the NFL at over 2,355. The next closest is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at over 2,166. Look, Tyreek Hill's a beast. I don't need to tell you that. I mean, you know how good he is, and this is just a great matchup for him. Could be a little bit of weather concerns here. Might be a little bit of rain, but I am not worried about it. Tyreek Hill's receptions line sitting at 7.5. The Commanders are a team that allows about 15 yards per catch. Doing some quick math, 7 times 15, that's 106 yards. We know Tyreek Hill is well capable of getting more than 15 yards per catch. He also could get 8, 9, 10 receptions in this one. I think Waddle has a good game, but Tyreek Hill is just too talented. They have no matchup for him. The only way they potentially stop him is if they triple team him, but I think Waddle and the other guys will pose enough threat for them not to do that. Tyreek has plenty of talent to get 70 in one pop. I really like this matchup for Tyreek Hill. Now, my third play is going to go to another guy that has made us a lot of money this season. We kind of haven't touched him a lot the past couple weeks because the books caught on, but it is a guy by the name of Adam Thielen, over 5.5 receptions, minus 115 on Bet365. Now, personally, I would play this right around minus 140. I don't hate the line at 6.5, but asking a guy for 7 receptions can be a little bit tricky. I feel like a lot of guys tend to end with 5 or 6, and hopefully Adam Thielen's ended with 6. Heck, if he wants to go get 7, go for it. But Thielen is coming off the worst game of the season. Last week, terrible game against the Tennessee Titans, who basically just triple teamed him and let anyone else beat them. But I don't see the Buccaneers doing that on Sunday. And we've seen Thielen that game, 1 reception on 3 targets. Now, well, they fired their head coach, Frank Reich, who was calling plays, and we saw Thielen prior to that was a really good track record. He had 6+ receptions in 8 of the last 9 games prior to that one, and 5 receptions in the one game he went under. So, look, Thielen and this Panthers wide receiver corps, not too strong. You thought they would have made a trade to try to get a wide receiver of some sort. They said, Bryce Young, have to deal with it, buddy. And look, at the end of the day, Adam Thielen's his most reliable guy. It's not like we're asking Thielen to go out there and get 100 yards like Tyreek Hill, because that's not Thielen's game. He's going and doing short routes, curls, comebacks, things of that nature, catching screens. That's all we want. We just want the ball out of Bryce Young's hands and into Thielen's. And Tampa is a team that notoriously funnels a lot of, I already gave you the stat. They give up a ton of receiving yards to wide receivers, but this is a team that top 10 in rushing yards per attempt. They're going to be great at stopping the run, and we should see teams pass against them. As a result, Tampa seeing the 7th most pass attempts in the league, and they've allowed the 11th highest completion percentage. Look, coming off a bad game where Adam Thielen just never got anything going, I think he comes back and has a good game. Bryce Young should pepper him with targets. I think he's a lock to get at least 5 receptions this week. Hopefully he gets an extra one for 6, which is what we need. But we just saw last week, Michael Pittman Jr. had like 10 receptions. Even his teammate Josh Downs at 5 or 6. I think there's plenty of opportunity here for Adam Thielen to go out there and get 6 receptions. They're on the road. I can't imagine they really want Bryce Young to hold on to the ball a ton. Maybe they pivot more towards, short, early passes on first down instead of running the ball for 2 yards a pop against a very stout defensive line by the Buccaneers. I really like Adam Thielen. Give me his over 5.5 receptions. Now, my fourth play is going to be another wide receiver. He plays for the Cleveland Browns. His name is Amari Cooper. Here's what I'm playing for him. It's a 2-leg, same game parlay. Him to get over 3.5 receptions and him to get 50 plus receiving yards, which is currently plus 115 on Bet365. Playing this for 1 unit. Now, it's an easy pivot. Unlike the David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs one, which their lines are not really similar to what you might find on like a daily fantasy app, Amari Cooper, his receiving yards line is legitimately 49.5. I'm taking that, but throwing out 4+ receptions because, to be honest, I don't see him getting the 50 receiving yards without getting 4 receptions. And I think if he gets 4 receptions, he probably gets close to 50 receiving yards. Obviously, they go hand in hand together. If you just want to take his receiving yards, that would be obviously the key play here. Is over 3.5 receptions is a little bit juiced for me. Now, we've seen in 11 games this season, Cooper, 4 receptions in 7 of 11. In those 7 games that he had 4 receptions, also had 50 yards in 6 of them. So, not terrible. He's cashed this parlay in 6 of 11 games so far, and he's coming off not just one dud where he had like 4 receptions for 37 yards, but then last week, a big 2 receptions, 6 targets, 16 yards. That's what happens when you got PJ Walker and Dorian Thompson-Robinson throwing it to him. No disrespect to those guys. They just are not going to be really great NFL QBs. Or maybe Dorian Thompson-Robinson proves me wrong, but he obviously is a rookie. But still, they're not great at throwing the ball this so far into their NFL career. Now we got a new QB starting under center for the Browns, Joe Flacco. And love him or hate him, Joe Flacco's an NFL QB, and he knows actually how to throw the football. Knock on wood. Watch him put up an absolute dud on Sunday. But look, and last year, I'm a Jets fan. I saw Flacco play last year in 4 games with Joe Flacco, starting at QB. Garrett Wilson saw 8, 14, 11, and 17 targets, recording 4 receptions and 50 yards easily in all 4 games. Now, I know what you're saying. How does this apply to Amari Cooper? Garrett Wilson's not Amari Cooper. This is a different offense, blah, blah, blah. I get it. What that shows me and what I saw with my own eyes, Joe Flacco is not a guy that's trying to overcomplicate things. This is going to be a simple game plan. You're going to hand the ball off, you're going to hike it, and you're going to throw it to your number 1 guy, and that would be Amari Cooper. I don't see a team in the Rams, who they placed in LA on Sunday, being able to stop Amari Cooper. I see a lot of easy comebacks, easy cross, slants, comeback curls. I don't know what, but every easy route in the book is what they have probably practiced this week with Joe Flacco at QB. I think this is an easy spot to back Amari Cooper. I think there's just going to be a lot of targets coming his way. I think, you think about Joe Flacco, he doesn't want to be standing in the pocket getting rocked by other guys. Aaron Donald coming at him, no shot. He wants to get the ball out of his hands quick, and I think that leads to Amari Cooper having a big day, whether it's some fade routes, whatever, you name it. Amari Cooper is their best wide receiver, and it's not even close. I think he has a big day. We'll take his over in this, same game parlay. Really, it's just asking Amari Cooper to have a good day. 4 receptions and 50 yards is what we need for plus 115. If you just want to take the over in receiving yards, that would be obviously my pivot. I threw on the 4 receptions, and if he gets 3 receptions and 50 yards, just know I'm in pain. Now, my 5th and final play of the day will be going to arguably the biggest game of the weekend. It is the 49ers and Eagles. Now, my long shot parlay does include a couple legs in this game, and it will include one of the guys we talked about here, not necessarily in the capacity we're betting on him here, but we are taking this over in yards. But let's talk about these two fellas. They're both Philadelphia Eagles, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Here's what I'm playing for them. I'm taking their over 5.5 receptions for A.J. Brown, and then I'm tacking on Devontae Smith 25+ receiving yards. Now, I did this because the easy pivot would just be A.J. Brown's over in receiving yards, or over in receptions, my bad. Obviously, A.J. Brown, that receptions line at 5.5 is a little bit juiced. It was like minus 140. I'm not a person that, now I'm like contradicting myself. I don't really like to lay a lot of juice on plays. You just don't see me come on here and give out a lot of, hey, here's my minus 145 pick, because no one wants to turn, $10 into 17, give or take. So I'm willing to add on Devontae Smith's receiving yards here in a same game parlay, instead of taking the regular A.J. Brown over 5.5 receptions at minus 140, or even worse on Bucks. Because Devontae's on the season, 25 receiving yards in 10 of 11 games. He's had 40+ in 6 straight, 99 and 106 the last 2 weeks. I'm confident he gets 25+ in a game where they probably have to throw the ball against the 49ers. If he doesn't get 25+, A.J. Brown gets 6 receptions, I'll just give myself a neck and be like, all right, whatever, Austin, you deserve that by getting cute. But at the end of the day, I'd rather take this at minus 101 than trying to lay minus 150 on an A.J. Brown receptions prop. But as for why do we like your receptions for A.J. Brown, well, it's a guy that's coming off a couple bad games, kind of like Thielen, kind of like Amari Cooper. 6 receptions, though, in 8 of 11 games. He had only 1 in 5 these last 2 games. The 1 reception was an anomaly last week. 5 receptions, had about 9 targets against the Bills secondary. That was terrible conditions. You watched that game. It was raining all over the place. Shout out Jake Elliott for making that crazy field goal, and they ended up winning it. But terrible conditions there. I think they get him back going. The conditions should be a little bit better. And this is a 49ers secondary that hasn't looked great all year. Now, they did look good last week against the Seahawks. That's a divisional game. They're going to show up for that one. They kind of know how to game plan a little bit more for that. But A.J. Brown in a game that basically is going to be like a playoff type atmosphere, I think they force feed him the ball. They know it's going to be tough to run the ball against the 49ers. I think we see a lot of targets going out early to A.J. Brown. Maybe instead of running the ball, you throw it out to him, see if he can make a guy miss, pick up a couple extra yards, maybe get a first down, something like that. I think that's how they attack this one. But no Dallas Goedert. Obviously, these receptions are kind of going towards A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert. I think it's a great spot to back A.J. Brown. I really like him on Sunday. So I'm running this 2-leg same game parlay. Him to get over at 5.5 receptions, A.J. Brown, and then his teammate Devontae Smith, 25+ receiving yards. Obviously, I think Devontae has a good game. I just feel like this is more of an A.J. Brown game, but Devontae's good enough to get you 25 receiving yards, or at least I hope he is. But those are my 5 favorite picks of the week. Let's again bring out those brooms in on the Monday Night Football video. You guys have a wonderful day. Now, my ladder challenge hopefully will involve some NFL. We'll see how Saturday's NBA one went as I'm recording this before it even tips off. But you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you guys in the next one. A reminder, go check out that long shot video. We both cooked up 2 long shot parlays, and we made them super easy for you to tail if you're on FanDuel. All you have to do is go to the description of that video, and you can click links. I explained it in the video. Go check it out. Click on it. What are you waiting for? Click on the video. See our long shot parlays for Sunday. You guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.